you hear me, Trove?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really, really robotic there for a second.
Yeah, we're gonna actually. Well, let's restart the call real quickly because I believe we lagged a little bit on our end there to refresh something. So, 1 second. Hopefully the stream stayed fine.
That sounds better.
We're good.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So, anyways, as I was saying, the Legion team, they got a Forsaken, they got a Zephyr. Is there any chance? Actually, I'm lagging again. It looks like. Yeah. Something's happening. Anyways, I'm guessing the stream is still on, so I guess I should keep talking. Yeah. Sorry about that. Obviously, yeah, having a little bit of lag issues on our end, guys. So just trying to hopefully get through this. It does happen occasionally, if you may have noticed. We get that one hiccup a day where for really 30 seconds to a minute it kind of just goes poop, but comes back after. So, Trouf, are you back once again? Oh, he's not. Okay, so... apparently, we're still trying to get a hold of Trouf once again, but it looks like, at least from what I can see, now things have cleared up quite a bit. So, anyways, when we do get him back, I'll bring that up to him. But obviously, again, the point I'm bringing up is, oh, we have a disconnect there. Actually, that's going to pause the game, allow him to get back in. But you know, is Zephyr and Forsaken Archer enough, maybe, to have a chance against this Mage Bane here and the team of the Hellborn? So.
Oh, I would say not a chance,
oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's just too hard. Mage Bane's always going to farm faster than any of those heroes. The only thing they could do is maybe try to get a pick from Pebbles onto that Mage Bane. Because if I look, he actually has he did just buy a vestment. But if they manage to find him with a little bit of health missing, and he is on agility steam boots, he could actually combo him down. But I mean, you're gonna have to do that. I'd say like 10 times before you're back in this game. So it's just really hard.
Middle lane, Tempest may be in a little bit of trouble here. Pebbles off to the side with the portal key. So if he finds it necessary, you got Bubbles way back here though. It's almost as if they're baiting it. Bubbles is ready to go in himself. He's also got a portal key. So you can even say smartly right there. Impunity does not choose to jump Tempest actually. So. But yeah, as you're putting, you know, if they manage to catch Mage Bane off guard, maybe with his agility steam boots under 1,000 life, despite having missed investments, you know, get a couple of kills onto him, and things could start getting better theoretically for Impina. Now, I will say Zephyr's farm has drastically increased. I mean, he is all the way up to 330 gold per minute now all of a sudden. So that's Impunity finally getting some signs of life here in this game. Granted, Lady Ricardo on Forsaken Archer. Well, he just continues to struggle quite a bit, so as he actually just got a sustainer finish, though. But another portal key even just purchased, this time a Witch Slayer. So both Witch Slayer and Bubbles have it. The funny thing is Tempest actually the one not with one. He instead chose to go Tablet of Command, and he picked up a Beast Heart even, and he also now has a Mighty Blade, so going kind of a unique style of build here is Insania, as they're trying to protect this middle lane. I mean, what do you make of Tempest build, actually?
I think it's a little cocky, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't see any point in it, really. Now, I could see a point in maybe not getting a portal key against, like, a Zephyr. And with, you know, pretty much every one of those heroes can cancel her ultimate except Forsaken Archer. So that makes it a little hard to... You basically have to get everybody an ult. So that, I could see reason why... But I don't understand this beef kind of, like... I feel like randomly getting the Beast Heart. He should just get a straight shrunken head if he wants to, you know, opt out of the.
Yeah. So we'll see again what Tempest or how Tempest follows up this again. Somewhat of a unique build. I do apologize. It seems like we do got some initiation though. Zephyr going in with the Typhoon. Bubbles off to the side. There comes Pebbles. He jumps Witch Slayer. Witch Slayer going down. Bubbles actually needs to port out. Barely ports out, but he will fall when it's all said and done. But the Tempest ultimate pulls him back in. Zephyr gonna fall. The Mana Rift doing so much damage. As soon as Mage Bane got there, the fight completely turned around. Obviously, Tempest with a great ultimate help. Glacius is gonna fall, and the GG well plays are being called. So Impunity has had enough. Obviously, after that fight right there, that's really what they were waiting for. You know, just seeing if there's any chance of recovering. Maybe if they just hold out long enough. it could actually happen, but it does not. We do see right there the concede officially goes through, and you see even having a little bit of fun there in the end, actually. But Impunity does lose to its goes through here in Game 1, but again, that is just Game 1 here in this best out of 3. So, yeah, it really does go back to the picking stage, though, and I think specifically this effort, because, the more I thought about it, too, and, brought up, was they had a chance to get an Amphora there, and if they went in Amphora instead of Zephyr, they could have had powerful lanes still. Glacius, Forsaken, Amphora, Pebbles, and then Plague Rider solo. And maybe that could have worked better. But again, that's a hindsight thing. So, but you could definitely argue that the picking stage kind of did screw Impunity. And also, as you put it, Team It's Goes to that perfect lineup, at least as far as the idea goes. So,
yeah, it's very, very nerve-wracking and scary when you send a hero long lane, first of all by himself, and second when he doesn't have any kind of either A, lane control abilities like Tempest or Plague Rider, or B, any kind of escape. Forsaken Archer has neither. So when you send her in the long lane, she's so susceptible to ganks, and actually in a lane where she should win against Bubbles, she can actually lose that, and Bubbles is safe lane, because you have the ability to play with the fog a little bit better in your short lane and your safe lane. So it's just, I would definitely not send Forsaken Archer solo up there. If anything, you got to send him with a tri lane or even just a dual lane. But solo right there is just too hard on her. You saw right there, she was 0-4 in 0. She didn't do 1 point of damage to any kill. Now, granted, they only had 4 kills that game, but still, she really had absolutely no impact in that game. It wasn't really the player; it was just the lane setups. And hopefully, Impunity, learns from it and is able to change something in the next game.
Yeah, at least come back strong here in game number 2, because it is a best out of 3 series for a reason. This is somewhat similar to yesterday's series. To bring that up, again, when they were playing Fit, where they lost the first game, seemed pretty decisive. Game 2, though, it all came down a strong comeback by them, and all of a sudden we're in a game 3 before we know it. So maybe a repeat of yesterday, who knows? But I will say at the same time, teammates go, so they looked good as expected. So Impunity has their work cut out for them. On that note, guys, we're going to take a quick break here. And we'll, of course, be right back. Team It's Gosu taking on Impunity. Team It's Gosu currently up 1-0. Game 2 coming up next, guys. All right, guys, coming back at you now. We got game number 2 just around the corner here between Impunity and Team It's Gosu. Of course, Team It's Gosu up 1-0 after that first game victory. I'm Breaking CPK, going to be joined by Tralfamador once again here. Looking forward to seeing how Impunity, man, how they respond after that first game. We, obviously brought up several points from the picking stage to the laning phase. Just didn't look to seem to be the strongest there for Impunity. So you hope now in game number 2. Things perhaps change a little bit. But Team It's Gosu, as I said also at the end there, we expected them to look good, and, well, they did. So Impunity has their work cut out for them, and we apparently are just going to wait one more minute here before we jump into game number 2, but gives us a little bit more time to reflect on what just happened there in game number 1, Trev.
Yeah, and I said again that It's Gosu drafted a very, very standard top-tier lineup, which is a good laning support with Mage Bane, TDL, or Silhouette. They chose Mage Bane and Luna this time. A Suicide Hero in Bubbles. It could be like Bubbles, it could be Tempest, it could be Plague. A good mid, which is right now the 2 best mids are Polywog and Witchslayer. That's it. Those are the best mids right now.
Yeah.
And they chose a Witchslayer, and then a jungle. And if you don't do a jungle, you can do an aggressive tri-lane, long lane, and have one of those hard carries solo bottom. That's the equation. You can put in whatever you want into those heroes that are decent, but you follow that equation, you'll win games.
Yeah.
And that's what It's Gosu did, and we'll see if they do it again. Now, that doesn't mean you can't vary from that strat. There's a lot of different strats. I'm not saying that's the only thing to do. I'm just saying it's probably the strongest thing to do right now in this meta game.
Yeah, as we saw with different Team It's Gosu, and it does seem like we see from time to time you said complexity. They do it all the time, Fnatic to an extent. So it's no surprise that the top tier teams do that as well. But it looks like we are in game number 2 here, so let's go ahead and jump right into it and get an idea again of what lineups we're going to see from either side. It's Gosu, of course, on the Legion team or Legion side this time. Then we got Impunity on the Hellborn side. As we got It's Gosu, they go ahead and blind ban both Fade and Ophelia. As far as Impunity goes, Tundra and Tempest. So they did not like that Tempest last game. Do not want to see him again this time around. So Insania getting some respect right there. But at the same time, Tempest, of course, he is a very, very powerful hero. First locking him forward to start things off, too, by the way.
Yeah, interesting. I like the Tempest ban from Hellborn, from Ninja Boogie. And now it's Ninja Boogie in the drafting spot. So they're just kind of rotating people around. But it really seems also like It's Gosu does not like playing against Fade. They banned him last time. I don't think he was blind banned. I believe he was actually just in the regular banning phase. But it's just one of those heroes, and I don't blame him, man. I hate playing against Fade. That hero is a nuisance, especially as a support player. You're going to spend a lot of awards on Wards of Revelation.
Yeah.
So I actually like that ban. First lock by Namphora. That's smart, I think, if they decide to pick him up. It would be kind of silly to lock Namphora and then just not take him. Mm-hmm. So if you're locking Namphora, personally, I would have in mind that is my first pick. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah, and then, of course, build your strategy around that. But, that's where the questions are raised. Obviously, if you lock Namphora, you can't really lock Pebbles because there's a good chance that Impunity would get him. So you could try to maybe pick him up at the picking stage, but very likely could be banned. But still, Namphora doesn't need to be with the Pebbles, obviously, but it's definitely one of her strongest partners. But, yeah, so we'll see how that finishes off. Aluna, Wretched Hag are the follow-up locks, actually, from Impunity. So another strong support, of course, as well as the solo role. So It's Gosu back to them. We'll see if perhaps more carry focus is locked here, or if keeping perhaps some jungle, some push. Even I would like to see them lock Keeper of the Forest just to really screw with Impunity because again they blind banned Keeper of the Forest all 3 games against Fit. They banned him this last game against It's Gosu. So something about that hero, man. It's just interesting to see Impunity putting the bans out on him. They just do not like to play against him. So.
Yeah, he can be a very, very annoying hero. And here come the troll locks, Gauntlet and Nomad. Nomad, we haven't seen, I don't think, any play from competitively.
Yeah.
The hero is just awkward to play. And frankly, after the nerfs it's had to its main spell, he really doesn't do as much damage as he used to. And he was already hard to fit in lineups, but now it's just like, he really got to have the perfect lineup, I guess, to really run him. So there's some interesting trollish locks coming out from Insania.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder now too if Impunity, because again along those lines of it, quote unquote trolling, if they lock a quote troll hero here like a Rampage or a Gemini even, then that if they get a Luna Wretched Hag with their first 2 picks, then that does force It's Gosu pick one of those three. So
Exactly. That's exactly right.
that's where it comes into play. So we'll see.
Mhm.
We'll see what Impunity does right here. Still waiting on their final lock. About 35 seconds left. So now I will say, getting a gauntlet with an M4 isn't necessarily bad. So
Right.
that's where it goes to perhaps still is fine. But
Yeah, no, that could definitely work. But I definitely agree with you. I mean, I think they should lock something like a Raw or something that just doesn't really work that well in this metagame. And then you're right. If they decide to go for an M4 first pick, actually they even go with a Rampage like you mentioned. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, so if they go with an M4 first pick from Legion's side and they get a Luna and Wretched Hag, that's going to leave them, like you said, probably Gauntlet, which isn't bad, but it's a little bit weak overall in the laning phase. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gauntlet and 4 can do some damage, but you can pit some good lane against that with a Luna plus something else.
yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, some choices to be made now from Team It's Gosu. As you would think, again, we still need to get to that phase first off, so but still got a couple more phases even before the lockpick phase. So the banning phase taking place now, the regular banning phase. It is Pebbles right away banned by It's Gosu, so they don't even attempt to let him pass on through. They just go ahead and take care of the Pebbles man themselves, actually, which I do find a little bit interesting. But Jerizai to follow it up. So yeah, the banning phase started, but yeah, what do you make of that? It's Gosu going with the Pebbles man themselves even.
I think that's fine, especially when you have a hero's lock that you do. Excuse me, with Nymphora, and since they are most likely going to go for, well, like you said, it depends. We haven't got there yet, but it would feel kind of awkward for them to pick Pebbles because they might. There's a chance that they're going to have to pick Gauntlet, Nomad, or Rampage. Actually, there's a very good chance.
Yeah.
And that's very awkward to have on your team if you already have a Pebbles. So I like that ban.
True, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. So Magmist and Polywog Priest are the next couple. So the final two. And, Polywog Priest actually seen that banned by Impunity. You make the point, and it's definitely, we've seen it, how a lot of these Southeast Asian teams really love the Polywog Priest hero. But banned here by Impunity. You got Forsaken Archer banned by It's Gosu. So the final ban, and sure enough, it is Keeper of the Force. They just do not want to see that here. I can't wait to see a team pick it up against them and just see how they react, because clearly they just do not like that hero. But yeah, Keeper of the Force to finish off the ban strong here.
Yeah, no surprise there coming from Impunity. Now, Wild Soul first picked by It's Gosu. I said that they love to play him, and, well, they reaffirmed that by picking him first pick here.
Yeah.
On Insania picking that up, but he's probably going to give that off to Zai, I assume. As Zai is a pretty good Wild Soul player. We saw him play that, I think, against Complexity in the first week, if I'm not mistaken. And while they did lose that series, he actually did play a pretty good Wild Soul.
Yeah. Now, Parasite, counterpicked by Impunity there. And, Parasite is just one of those heroes. Now, obviously, if Wild Soul plans to be in the lane, then it won't have nearly as an effect, but still. And Parasite in general, just a very, very strong pick. But, yeah, if Wild Soul was to jungle, then Parasite can be quite the nuisance, as he can be against really any jungler. But I don't... do they usually run it in a lane?
They do, yes.
Okay,
They usually run it in a lane. I very rarely see them run it actually in a jungle, because I think overall, when you run them in a lane, it gives your team a lot of options. And you don't have to have two different one-on-two situations, because when you run a jungler, you can have two solos, So that makes it very easy for the other team to capitalize on that. But when you run them as a lane, you have the potential to tri-lane if you want. You have the potential to do two different dual lanes. So it just frees things up a little bit.
Now, obviously, it's Gosu going with their next two, and actually, even to their point, I mean, they do got Wild Soul. They of course, with him, they got some carry potential, but more so for Impunity. I mean, with this final pick, they really need to go a carry.
They do.
If they want to go a carry strategy, because obviously, again, with what we're expecting, they're going to get a Luna or Wretched Hag, or at the very worst, something like Nymphora Wretched Hag, but obviously not really that carry hero. So whether that's a Mage Bane, a Dark Lady, or a Silhouette, all three of them are open. They have some choices, but how about that? Behemoth and Tremble picked up here by It's Gosu. So that's a lot of minion power between Boo Boo and Borat. No, why did I say Borat?
Borat.
For some reason, Borat now exists in Heroes of New Earth. Boris. That's what I definitely meant to say.
My name is Borat.
Boris.
That's what he says when you spawn him. My name is Borat.
But man, Tremble pick.
Yeah, I don't mind the pick so much as now they have 2 melees, and okay, they're probably going to get a Luna or Nymphora, but then they're going to have. I mean, I'm assuming Impunity is going to take 2 of those 3. Pestilence pickup, I actually really really like that. But going back to when it's Ghost who picked, they're probably going to pick. I actually want to say a Luna now, seeing what their heroes are.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to go with a Gauntlet. They'd still go with an Nymphora, okay. And now I would expect Impunity here to go a Luna and Hag.
Yeah.
And that's gonna leave Gauntlet, Nomad, or Rampage to go with its Gosu team. That's kind of awkward, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, there we go. So are they going to snap pick Gauntlet here? Yeah, okay. So they pretty much knew, too, that was probably going to be the case. How are they going to lane it, though? Yeah, is it going to be a tri-lane?
Yeah,
Yes.
Tri-Lane, Gauntlet, Nymphora, Behemoth is my guess. Solo Wild, Solo Bottom, Tremble Mid. That's what I'm seeing.
The good old tri-lane Gauntlet. Now, that does have... that is scary. I mean, obviously, I kind of said that as if we don't really see that too often, but Nymphora, Behemoth, the support will really, no matter who they're playing with, that could be very, very deadly. Then you do throw a grapple on top of that, also with that Power Glove from Gauntlet, doing a lot of burst damage. That can be dangerous here. But you said you like that Pestilence pickup. What do you like about it?
Well, it's very good against Tremble because obviously Tremble can go invis and run away very quickly, but he can't go invis with the Swarm on him, as well as he can't get away quickly from Pestilence because Pestilence is always going to be faster with that flight. Generally, also we always see the Pestilence rush a Portal Key, maybe first, maybe after a Helmet of Black Legion, but I just think he does a lot of damage to Tremble and he also does a lot of damage to Wild Soul, who's very tanky in his own regard with that ultimate leveled up. So I think normally I'm not a fan of Pestilence, but I actually really like him here.
Yeah, trademark Impunity strategy here. They're all 5 going down to the Legion jungle. They are going to be spotted by the Legion Courier. Actually, you see the vulnerability used right away. So the Legion team very aware that they do have numbers down here, so they're going to back up quickly. But they did actually place a ward of sight against Sender, a very aggressive early ward of sight, just like last game. He's placing in the jungle here, granting some early vision. Granted, they will get a ward off here for Impunity to block at least the first couple of spawns here at the camp, if they choose to. I mean, actually didn't even place it there, so maybe they're going to try to trick them a little bit. But, no, yeah, they're going to go on the back end, at least Glacius is, and very likely going to eventually place it somewhere, I'm guessing. Okay, there we go. Places it in front finally, so that will block, of course, at the 30-second spawn and so on. And Parasite, it looks like, at least for now, may play some aggressive jungle as well here on the Legion side. So the lanes are kind of taking place. It is going to be Glacius, Pestilence bottom with Parasite in that jungle. So we're going to have pseudo tri-lane versus a tri-lane down here. At least that's what it looks like going to be coming out. So, man, that's going to be pretty intense as far as action goes down here at the bottom lane.
Yeah, Ghost is going to have to be very aggressive early on. And I think what Nymphora is doing, what Sender's going to do, and I really hope he does, is going to screw Gauntlet, is block this hard camp right above him by just sitting there. Because Parasite's going to have to get lucky and get some kind of good creep to his right, in that right camp. The one below him is already blocked, so if he gets, say this camp to his right is like wolves, he's screwed. He can't really do anything because this one to his left is going to be blocked. He's going to have to walk all the way down to the hard camp over there. So if it's Ghost who's very aggressive early on, they're going to find themselves in a 3v2 situation because Parasite's really going to have no presence. So hopefully Sender knows to do that. I think he does. He's a smart enough player to know that that's really an effective way to play against aggressive Parasite in the long lane.
Yeah, as far as how Impunity is ultimately going to lane things too, again, Wretched Hag going to be mid, it looks like, and Aluna going to be in that solo role. Not too often we get to see that, but as I've always said, especially in the very beginning when Aluna first came out, we did see her play a very solo, very carry style play. So not to say that we're going to get that here by any means, but it's going to be good seeing some Aluna pick up some farm, and it seems like what we get from that is the early tablet, the Astrolabe, items like that, and then maybe eventually the Hellflower. So. But EI owned playing Aluna. We'll see how he fares. Again, it looks like to be at the top lane. Now, the middle matchup, though, that's intriguing. I know that you yourself actually play a bit of Tremble, or used to at least. Tremble versus Wretched Hag. Tremble just seems like one of those heroes one of the most despised heroes to play against in a 1v1 role because of those mounts. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, you couple that, the mounds, with the mobility, the health regen, and then the impalers from Tremble, the passive extra damage boost. You put that on top of the hatchet, it's almost impossible to miss last hits or denies. It's really, really. I mean, it's really, really easy for Tremble. I would say he has an edge now. Wretched Hag does have potential to win if he decides to level up his haunt ability. That's pretty much the only way he can win this lane. Even then, it's still kind of iffy because he doesn't have. He's going to lose out on a lot of vision from Tremble, from those mounds. So yeah, Tremble's going to have a pretty good time here mid, I would assume.
God, those mounds, man. I know that they were nerfed a little bit, but they're still so powerful, and it's so annoying having to sit there and auto attack them down. Should Wretched Hag focus on killing those mounds? I mean, is that even possible? Can you?
It's hard because you do that, you're going to miss a lot of time on. You're going to waste a lot of time on not last hitting creeps.
Yeah.
So you should, if the time is right, if it calls for it. Say if he pushes up the mid wave really, really hard for some reason, he has nothing to do, then you can do that. But even then, I mean, you've seen it, I'm sure. It takes like a good 10 seconds to kill one of those mounds. So, yeah, it's really awkward.
Yeah, very, very difficult to go up against those. So, Kizu on Tremble here. It sounds like at least as long as he plays his game correctly, should have a fairly good time here in the middle lane. Ninja Boogie playing the Hag. You know, it's going to be difficult, but you know, I'm sure he almost expects to face it. So, hopefully, he has a plan up his sleeve. It looks like we are resuming now. So we're going to get an idea. And actually, I apologize. I assumed it was just going to be a Luna going top, and then the Glacius Pestilence bottom. But no, they switched up kind of last second. And instead, it's going to be EIO. And playing this Luna, she's going to go to the bottom lane. And that means, in fact, Parasite also falling back. So a complete adjustment here by Impunity now, as they send their pseudo tri-lane top instead. So what do you make of that?
That's actually very, very smart, but Luna cannot die. She cannot die. Otherwise, there's going to be so much farm on all these heroes. So I would almost think that she should just, go jungle, maybe stack the Ancients, do anything, because she's not going to get a damn thing in this bottom lane. I hope she knows that. So right now, actually, she's doing exactly that. She's stacking these Ancients, and I think that they should do almost like a 4-1 strat where they have 4 people top lane. I mean, Luna helping Parasite stack and farm the jungle, because she's not going to do anything down here.
Could they go as far as Luna supporting Wretched Hag in the middle lane? Or does Hag just need those levels? That's too important.
Yeah, I think she really does need those levels. She could move there, but the second she does, you're definitely going to see some response from Behemoth and Nymphora. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they even move right now because they really have no business, especially Behe. He definitely needs to move, and Nymphora needs to sit here and gain these levels because a Gimp Nymphora is kind of useless. She has to have the ultimate, otherwise she's not as effective.
Yeah, but you know, you said it, Luna right off the bat stacking those Ancients, so good start there. Obviously going to be a little bit of time before they can do it even as a team, but that's still a good start. I might as well get that out of the way. You see she's pushing up a little bit right here, but it's just it's just not going to happen. She does technically have an escape with Deja Vu, but it's not like your blinking escape, of course, just a minor speed increase. So, but Hellborn team, again, making another adjustment. They send Pestilence Glacius mid, and they actually have Hag go top instead to face the Wild Soul. Now Parasite actually coming to the middle lane. Now he just passed a double damage here. A little bit intrigued by that, if they even saw it. I'm sure he did. So maybe just going to let somebody else pick it up, as no, he goes back and picks it up actually, and now head towards the top side. But again, Impunity making some more adjustments here.
Yeah, the thing is when you take so much time making these adjustments, I mean, look at, bam, 2 minutes. They're already at gold deficit in both categories. The Haunt coming out actually onto Wild Soul, double damage Parasite pounding him in. This might be enough damage to get him down, and yeah, he's going to get first blooded. So very, very good usage of double damage range. You just see right there how effective that is early on.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent start at the top lane. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Kaiser gets ice imprisoned right here, but he just goes in with the mount. He's going to dive right now. Behemoth coming in. That fissure stun going to block Glacius just enough, it looks like. And the Impales, as you said, the Impalers coming out from Tremble right there, enough damage to get the kill. So good roaming coming out from Insania on that Behemoth. Right timing for him. And, you know, also, yeah, as you were saying that with the levels, Kaiser, he hit level 4, and Glacius was just level 2. He was just able to kind of dive on top of him, not be too worried, and sure enough, get the kill. So, yeah, maybe too many adjustments, you could argue here, coming out from Impunity.
Yeah, too many. And they actually, in none of these lanes, they don't really have a hero where it's like, okay, well, Gauntlet's free from the bottom lane. Well, at least so-and-so is farming this lane. Nope, not really. Like, they have Pestilence who's getting heavily harassed here. Actually, another Fisher Sun coming out. And Tremble is holding his own here. Glacius is coming out for some assistance, but Pestilence he's not stunning or anything. Parasite is actually going to come in. Wow, good job. They do get the turn kill. So maybe that's what he was doing, is just kind of giving the illusion that he was going to die. But good turn there, and good assistance from Miss Air there playing that Parasite.
Yeah, I think that was a mix maybe of that, but also Lady Ricardo almost as if he's panicked, because a Fissure Stun looked like it was one of those cases where it's blocked just enough, so if the pathing issue, if you try to click over it, it kind of messes with your hero a little bit and keeps sending him back. But anyways, nonetheless, they get the counter kill, so yeah, that actually worked out very well for Impunity. But yeah, the point you were just making prior to that is, well, at least we have our guy doing this thing, at least that one guy, you know, the shining star, as I like to say. For the Hellborn team. Not really. I mean, Parasite, obviously, yeah, he stepped up a little bit, having those 2 kills, including the Bloodlust kill, actually a pretty big deal, as he now fast enough. 300 gold from Minimac back to the middle lane. We can see Tremble, some more pressure being taken. Behemoth does have a Fissure Stun, choosing not to use it just yet, though, and will not use it in the end. Aluna comes in with a power throw, actually, which I don't even think hit, but some aggression coming out all of a sudden now from this Pestilence Glacius combination, but they have, obviously, it seems like Insane now, he is just kind of sitting here in the middle lane because of what happened from the Hellborn team as well. So, yeah, very interesting start to this game. In the end, though, it's safe to say Gauntlet getting 100% free farm down here, being played by Chubby Chris, too, as he is already 31 and 16. He has 31 creep kills. The highest on the Hellborn team is 15 by Pestilence.
Yeah, it's insane. And this Wretched Hag up here in the top lane is actually just getting decimated here as far as CS is concerned. I mean, they did get that Bloodlust kill on him. Maybe that's why it sounds like he's pinging and getting a lot of delay there. But Wild Soul doing this well in this long lane, I mean, that's why. He can hold his own. And he can also be aggressive right now. He puts that bear on them. He gets that lucky entangled root. That's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. But he is 23 and 6. Wretched Hag is 7 and 4. Ooh, that is just not good for Wretched Hag, and I did not expect that at all. I think Wretched Hag actually has a little bit of an advantage in her easy lane. It's close. It's quite even, actually, against the Wild Soul. But, yeah. I mean, she really shouldn't be losing this bad.
Yeah. Obviously.
Now she did get... Sorry, but yes, they did move around. That has a lot to do with it, too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up right there at the end. It's they were making some adjustment, but you made that point. I mean, it's a case that perhaps they made too many adjustments and just took them too long to eventually get set with the lanes that they were going with. So Ninja Boogie playing that Hag, and clearly he also just mentioned he is having some lag issues, so you got to wonder if maybe that was playing a role too. But Zai, or Zai, whatever you want to call him on this Wild Soul, he is off to a fantastic start himself. 244 gold per minute, despite that death, of course, hurting him. But even with that death, again, the GPM pretty well up there. Aluna's still level 1. It's one of those cases you chuckle a little bit, but it's like, can you be too surprised? I mean, you mentioned at the very least she just cannot die, which she hasn't, but clearly it is sacrificed both the levels and farm for Aluna. And, you know, especially at the beginning of the game, I was sitting here saying how excited I am to see Aluna in a solo role getting some farm. Early items, no, it's not going to happen here. She has really gotten nothing. She's going to do a pull here at the top lane to help out Wretched Hag maybe a little bit and also get some more farm herself and probably hit level 2 as a result of this. But, again, struggling big time. Parasite running into Behemoth, Gauntlet in for. Great fissure block right there. Parasite nowhere to go. And you just see the power of the level 3 Infernal Instability, as I like to call it, Power Glove. Just tear up Parasite right there. So another nice catch and a great fissure block actually happening.
I know that nuke does so much damage. I mean, if you want to look at it, it says 260, 320 magic damage. That is a lot. It really honestly feels like it does more. I don't know why. It just does. And nice. Yeah, it's very. And actually there, I'm missing right there. Tremble goes down to Pestilence. He does get the last hit as well as the assist gold coming out for Glacius there, so that's a good pickup kill. I missed it, unfortunately. But
yeah, that was actually just obviously Pestilence activated his fly. They dove onto him. They do have this Ward Revelation here, which has been here for a while. In fact, it's just about to expire, but that also helped get the kill onto Tremble right there. So very good investment. You see Glacius even taking on the mound on top of that. So yeah, I mean, Pestilence and Glacius, they've actually been doing some good work here in the middle lane, and Pestilence farm has recovered ever since that early adjustment, and they have slowed down Tremble quite a bit too. Kaizu got the early level 4, I believe it was, but now he's still only level 5. He does have the Swarm applied now because of level 6 Pestilence, and they are making the point that they're not going to let Tremble, have a free farming time here in the middle lane. So that is the good news here for Impunity. But Gauntlet, man, I mean, 355 gold per minute. So obviously off to a fantastic start. He does go the Ghost Marchers first, as well as the power supply. Do you think just that portal key probably going to be next? I mean, just ASAP get that item. Oh, middle lane actually. Hold that thought though for a second. Great Fidget block here on the Pestilence. Gauntlet does port in. Going to try to land a grapple right here. The Illuna stun comes out, but there's the ultimate from Gauntlet. And the Power Glove on top again. He's talking about so powerful. Now they do get a counter kill on a Tremble, so good job by Illuna and Glacius at least there, but Pestilence going down. Big kill by the Legion team again. Gauntlet leading the way with that.
Yeah, really good job by him. That just does so much damage. Now you're asking about his item build. Straight portal key would be nice, but the thing is, I actually think he's going to get his portal key even before his level 6. I don't know. Well, actually, Sender's down here, and he's soaking up some experience, so maybe not. That might be good. So actually, they could time that perfectly with the portal key and then 4 hitting 6 right away. That'd be optimal. But I actually see a lot of gauntlets go for more of a tanky route early on and then get the portal key a little bit later. So like a Helm of the Black Legion and then maybe Mystic Vestments and then a portal key. I actually really like that build quite a lot because I think you need to be a little bit tanky on that hero to be able to just constantly kite them and slow them with your third passive ability. What is that called? That's Enfeeble. I like that a lot, but to each their own. I think Portal Key is still good, and if you can time it, like I said, with Nip 4 hitting level 6, that would be very, very effective.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was going with that as well. I mean, I guess you mentioned having the Nip 4 perhaps ultimately helps you decide, you know, what build you may want to go, and it just, again, on that note, I mean, Gauntlet is off to a fantastic start, so early on in this game, really it's going to be, can Nip 4 get level 6 in time? So as you mentioned, she will soak it up a little bit of experience there at the bottom lane and going through the jungle. You see Boris is out here for Tremble, and he's farming in the jungle while Tremble is actually, well, currently heading towards the bottom lane as he's going to go all the way down here, looks like even. So maybe either an adjustment coming out. We do see Gauntlet's going to be Homecoming Stoneport middle, actually. So yes, it is. Tremble with the finish on. There's a great grapple from Gauntlet coming out right there. The Power Glove on top, and in and down goes Pestilence, excuse me. Glacius, level 5, so no Glacial Downpour going to be used from him. Ratchet Ag, though, joining the party. She does have a Bat Blast. No, she does not. Never mind. 23-second cooldown. So not going to be happening right there. So good setup once again. Coming out from Team It's Gosu, catching Pestilence off guard.
Yeah, they're just doing this over and over, and God, this Gauntlet is doing so much damage. And the Health Potion from Sender is coming off onto a Gauntlet. He gives him some mana as well, and or did he give someone else mana? I think he gave himself mana, actually. But they can just rinse and repeat this, honestly, and every single time Gauntlet holds up. Like you said, this Hellborn team is extremely fragile, with except for Pestilence. But even then, they're killing the Pestilence over and over. So even he is not, will not be regarded as tanky, as they can get him down pretty easily.
Yeah. You know, Parasite, he had that fantastic start. He obviously got the Bloodlust kill, got the second kill after, but since then, hasn't had as big of an impact, and Miss Air, of course, playing in. There's the top tower kill. Wow, I didn't even really notice that, but all of a sudden, top tower going down 10 minutes in now. You do see Parasite coming in with the Minotaur. There comes the Impale Stun. Wild, so though, so freaking tanky. 1,400 plus life already. Just the 2 minor totems and a boot. I love this hero. Minotaur's stun going to be used. Wild, though, just diving further into the jungle. He does have a Homecoming Stone, so if he can time this right after maybe another stun, but he just continues to get blocked. Now he's completely sandwiched, actually, and Wild Soul will end up falling, so he just kept trying to go further and further in, but it did not work out. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Gauntlet actually being chased back as Behemoth cancels that Fissure Stun, and the illusion of Wretched Ag will chase, but eventually die, of course, so well, the gank was successful at the top lane as long as it took there in a Wild Soul.
That was really, really silly of Zaya there. There was no way he was getting out of that. He was going to die, and for some reason, he just resummoned his bear. Now he's going to have to wait so much time to summon that once he gets up. He's up in 3 seconds. He's going to have to wait 80 seconds to resummon that bear.
Oh, wow.
Now, he has no items on him, and he did have Ghost Marchers on his bear. He bought a Plated Greaves now on his hero. But, he's not going to have that bear for now. Another 70 seconds, and that was just a waste to summon that bear there. He was going to die for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think maybe the logic was maybe resummon the bear to kind of sandwich them in between you and yourself so that you can port out. But, yeah, you're probably right. It's just not
That's
working.
a very risky play,
Exactly.
though.
And it was risky, and it didn't pay off, so... Wild Soul obviously loses a lot of his power, not only because it's just now just Wild Soul, but as you put it too, the at least half his items, of course, are on Boo Boo, so not able to take advantage of that. So his farm is going to drop now because of that, and in fact, you see he's at 279 right now. And it is slowly going down. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, though, we do see Tucker. Oh, Glacius, a great attempt right there. He froze him and then went for the deny. Not able to do it, though. But Tremble is in a bit of trouble. Obviously, Parasite down here does have a face hug to use, but Tremble a little bit too fast with that mount. He does have a homecoming zone, and he's going to use it right there, and I believe he will be successful. So good job by Tremble, actually, sneaking out. Going to be fine, and also enough distraction for the Legion team to push the middle tower, so maybe Wild Soul's farm won't be that too bad after all said and done, as his Boo-Boo is going to be coming up in 3, 2, 1, Q. Damn it, Zai, he did not come through for me. Just a little bit off. But anyways, he's got the bear now, and all 5 are grouping up here in the middle lane. Play degrees being used. This is going to be a really, really massive push coming out from Team Gosu. What can Impunity do to stop this? If anything, I don't even know if they can. I mean, they may just obviously going to harass, but this is going to be really difficult. Legion team not fully committing, though. They are starting to fall back. Maybe wait for the next creep wave, but so maybe you are going to hold it off for now. They're timing out. No, that's huge, actually. It's Gosu. Yeah, going to be a little bit mannered there. That was actually a pretty good visual block, but you see the timeout, so it's Gosu quickly throws out the pause. Good for that.
Yeah, that's very good. Very well mannered there by Keizu. I like to see that. That's unfortunate, but yeah. I mean, I did mention the whole summoning the bear thing. Now that it wasn't such a big deal in this game because they're obviously at a very, very good start and they're a great lead. But say if they were trailing and struggling in this game, I mean that could have been massive. But you know they're doing really well. Gauntlet did go ahead and go with that early portal key, so he now has that. And if we're not level 6, but they are actually grouping up here in the mid, so it doesn't really matter that much. I actually think they're grouping up a little bit too early. I think that they should wait until they get some more levels, maybe level 11 on Bear as well as level 11 on Tremble. I think this group up is just a little bit too early. I mean, it could still work, but I think it's pushing it just a bit.
I mean, they do got some early teamfight items as well. As I mentioned, the Plate of Greaves, they got a Ring of Sorcery even on Behemoth, so they got some things, and so we'll see if they continue with this. Actually, they may not continue with it. They may just decide to fall back now and be fine with the pressure that they got out of it. So see if they agree with you or whether or not they just continue to push it. Well, it looks like they're going to continue to push, actually. Plate of Greaves used once again as a Ring of Sorcery. And here we go. You mentioned the portal key on a Gauntlet, so if he finds that place, he'll definitely jump in. Going to run into Pestilence right here. Oh, what he does jump in, he hooks in Aluna. Aluna going to easily drop shortly after. Wretched got stunned as well. She has a Bat Blast. Is she going to use it right here? No, she is not. The Legion team spreading out now, and they'll be fine for now at least. The tower dropping quickly. Very likely going to go down. Whether or not it's denied, though, is a question. Glacius running into both Behemoth and Wild Soul. He's dropping quickly now as he gets locked down. Behemoth with the ultimate actually in the background. Parasite gets picked up. Pestilence in the midst of it all. He's already used his Impel, able to take out Wild Soul, but Tremble with that Dark Swarm activated. Gauntlet joining the party and grapples him back. It says, you are not getting to your support. Will go down. And do see Wretched Dragon, nothing more that she could do, so she got her Bat Blast off. Pretty well placed, but just not nearly enough damage. So the tower eventually falls, and Ninja Boogie can just do nothing more than just watch it go down. So good push in the end, I guess, from Team Gosu.
Yeah, Aluna had no mana at all. I mean, she couldn't counter push at all. She couldn't do anything really right there. And Glacius kind of got caught out there to the left in a very awkward position. Good Behemoth stuns this entire game, though, by Insania, I gotta say. As his score reflects that he's been involved in every single kill. Yeah. He's 0-0-8, so really well played by him so far this game. As well as last game.
Yeah, of course, playing the Tempest last time around. So Insania really making some big plays here in both games for Team Gosu. At 0-0-8. It's rare to see a score like that, but that is more to the credit of just him being there to assist the team, and that's exactly what he's doing here. So he is now obviously working on a portal key, and actually is getting pretty close. I mean, he's farming 230 gold per minute, so didn't even realize that initially, but he obviously has a Ring of Sorcery, as I mentioned earlier, with the Little Red Booty. So portal key in these next 3 or 4 minutes continues to stop a farm. Could actually have it picked up here. So good for him as he's going to stack this once again and look to maybe go finish it off. Tremble also farming in the jungle, who, by the way, has a Helmet of Black Legion and Steam Boots and another 1,200 gold saved up himself. What do you think of Tremble as far as a build that he should go for? I mean, Helmet of Black Legion first, I think that is pretty standard.
Right.
I think he should follow this.
Probably with a Bulwark right after that.
Even though they have a Boo-Boo?
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. So Boo-Boo could get the Bulwark. Then if he's not going to get the Bulwark, then probably just a straight Shrunken Head would be, I think, the best bet.
Yeah.
He could also go something that's more aggressive since they are in the lead with like a Hellflower. Hellflower is also very, very good against Hag. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Hellflower or a Shrunken Head.
All right. We'll see what Kizu decides to go for, but the top farmer in the game continues to be Gauntlet at 423 gold per minute. Has he bought something else? I feel like he has. I mean, he's had that portal key for a little bit.
Yeah,
he only has 180 gold, so...
I think he did buy something, but I don't know what it was. I can't remember. It popped up there. He spent some of his gold, but I don't remember.
And nothing on the courier, so... I don't know. I'm sure maybe he's just building it up in the stash, and eventually it'll be built, and he'll show us what it was, but we're going to have to be a little bit patient on that, I guess. And wait to see what eventually it is. Or Astrolabe, I believe I just saw finished on Nymphora, so all around just great farm. In fact, yeah, the GPM chart reflecting that everyone has over 200 gold per minute. In fact, Nymphora's tied with Pestilence as the second highest farmer on the Hellborn team, so another case of you know it's bad when, well,
yeah,
it's bad, so... Once again for Impunity, off to a pretty bad start. Not as bad maybe as last game, well, maybe even kinda. It's just both games have just been pretty poor starts here for Impunity. And it's Gosu, but that is to their credit. It's Gosu is a great team, of course. We knew that going into this. And they are showing once again here in the series why, as they're going to go for a kill at the top lane. Wild Soul is going to get frozen. In comes the Impale, but a nice stun from Gauntlet right there with his ultimate to counter. Now in comes the Impale finally. Pestil's still in the front lines. He does have the flight active. Actually not active anymore. Parasite jumps in, but the heals are too strong. Pestil's going to start dropping right there. Parasite goes into the catapult, actually. In comes a Bat Blast from Wretched Hag, but again, just not nearly enough damage coming out here for the Hellborn team. Aluna gets trapped by the Tremble and the Fissure stun. She will eventually fall, most likely. There goes a kill from Tremble. The root there onto Wretched Hag, and the grapple from Gauntlet to guarantee the kill. So all five are still alive, and, well, as you see right there, GGs are already being called, and you really can't blame them because it's just not looking too good here. Impunity they're going to come in, actually, Wretched Hag does, to try to actually get the kill on Wild Soul, but he dies shortly after. It's pretty much a suicide there, but yeah, they know it's over. So the GG well plays are going to be called, and it looks like pending on the vote actually going through, this game should be. They're already disconnecting. Okay, there we go. It is official. We do have It's Gosu defeating Impunity 2-0. And again, as a result, that means It's Gosu. They now 3-1. So they knew, Kizu specifically knew how important this win was, and sure enough, they get it. As far as Impunity is concerned, they started 2-0, but losing both to Fit yesterday, and then now Team It's Gosu today, so dropping to 2-2 there in the middle of Group B here. So,
yeah, that's a very important series here for It's Gosu. Now we have It's Gosu, Complexity, and now Fit all kind of in the same boat. Now Complexity did beat It's Gosu, so they will have that advantage and a heads up.
Yep.
But we can see some interesting things as the group stages evolve. But as far as this game goes, well played. Like I said, with a lot of these Southeast Asian teams, they have the talent. They have the raw talent. The players are great. They lane very well. They know how to play their heroes. But overall strategy and laning phase, they got to work on that. They got to do some studying, watching what the in players are doing because they have it down. The in players really know what they're doing as far as strategy and laning goes. So if they can get that down, like a perfect example is Orange Esports. I mean, they went to DreamHack. They experienced the international strategy, so to speak. And they've implemented that with their own, and they're playing really well now. They've improved so much, and now they're one of the top teams. I mean, they're one of the 4-seeded group stage teams. So, yeah, that's a perfect example of these Southeast Asian teams having good talent, having the raw talent, but they just need to get that strategy down.
Yeah, and again, this is obviously, as you were kind of saying there, really today's match